Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady. In this video, I'm going to be giving my full preview for the All-Ireland Football Final of 2022. We are down to two teams, Galway and Kerry, the Connacht champions against the Munster champions. Two teams that haven't been in the final for a few years. Galway haven't been in the All-Ireland final since 2001. Kerry haven't been in it since 2019. Their last All-Ireland titles, Galway, that one came in 2001. Kerry haven't won it since 2014. This is the full match preview of which team is going to bring their years without an All-Ireland to an end. But before we get into it, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. It really helps us out here on the channel. And yeah, let's go with this match preview. So first, let's go into the Munster champions, Kerry. Let's go with their game. So of course, Munster semi-final was where their championship started off. They won the league. They breezed through the Allianz League, smashing Mayo to bits in the final. David Clifford ran amok that day. Division 1 champions. They go into the Munster championship with a lot of confidence because Jack O'Connor, of course, coming back in as Kerry manager. Every year that he's rejoined, Kerry have won the league and then won the All-Ireland as well. So for them to win the league right out of the gate was a brilliant start for their confidence, and it really gave them an omen that, look, this could be their year to go and actually win the All-Ireland itself. They beat Cork pretty easily in the end in that Munster semi-final. Cork showed a lot of passion right out of the gate, and they really kind of pushed Kerry for 40, 50 minutes. But Kerry eventually pulled away, winning that game by 23 points to Cork's 11 points. Then they went into the Munster final against Limerick, a team that had recently been promoted from Division 3. But you knew what was going to happen. Kerry 1 goal and 28 points, Limerick 8 points. Kerry, Munster champions once again, back-to-back Munster champions, having been beaten by Cork in 2020. They go into the All-Ireland quarter-final, then they get Mayo. And we're thinking, God, this could be one hell of a game. This could be one hell of a game because of the rivalry between the two teams over the years. Now, Kerry just put Mayo away with minimal fuss. David Clifford got the crucial goal, 118 to 13 points. Mayo eliminated and James Horan stepped down straight after. Now they moved into the All-Ireland semi-final where they played against Dublin, and this was going to be one hell of a game, and everybody knew it. It was a real arm wrestle. It wasn't necessarily a huge game in terms of quality, but right at that last minute, we got quality upon quality. Sean O'Shea's free, in my opinion, the best clutch free I've ever seen. Swings it over the bar, 114 to 113. Kerry into the All-Ireland final for the first time since 2019, beating Dublin in the championship for the first time since 2009. Over the championship, Kerry have scored 3 goals and 83 points with an average of 120. They've conceded throughout the championship 145 with an average of just 12 points. Their defence has been absolutely fantastic. Paddy Tally coming back in. Particularly, they impressed me against Dublin. They really kept their shape well. They never let Dublin go right down the centre like Tyrone did in last year's semi-final. They've really come on leaps and bounds. Their top scorers, Sean O'Shea with 123, David Clifford with 113, Paul Gainey with 10 points. Tom O'Sullivan and Killian Spillane both have 7. Tom O'Sullivan has 7 points. Killian Spillane has 1-4. And Paddy Clifford then at 6 with 6 points. All the stats here that you hear on the video come from GAA Stats, man. The best in the business for GAA Stats. Yeah, interesting to see their spread of scores. Obviously, Sean O'Shea is their main man. He swings over pretty much every free that he takes. David Clifford looked at his absolute best in that semi-final against Dublin. Fantastic kicking. Literally everything he kicked went straight over the bar. Paul Gainey's a real dark horse because once you're focused on the Clifford and O'Shea and who's going to pick them up, Paul Gainey quietly taps over 3, 4, 5 points every game. And he's a fantastic footballer. Really consistent for Kerry. And the last time Kerry won the All-Ireland, Paul Gainey was right to the fore and he scored that crucial goal right from the start against Donegal. So he's been around the block and he has crucial experience for Kerry of actually getting over the line in an All-Ireland final, something that actually isn't that common in this team. You've got the likes of Stephen O'Brien, you've got Paul Gainey, you've got Paul Murphy, David Moran, and not a lot else. Like, Kerry are quite a young, inexperienced team, and there's only 4 or 5 lads on this team who know what it takes to get over the line to actually win the All-Ireland. Obviously, then we're going to turn it over then to the Galway route to the final. Galway started off the championship by playing against Mayo, and again, this was one hell of a rivalry between these two, the absolute kings, undisputed kings of Connacht. Galway got the victory, 114 to 16 points. Then they played Leitrim in the semi-final, 4-20 to 9 points. They beat them by, into the Connacht final, where they played against Roscommon, and they won by 2-19 to 2-16. Roscommon staging a late comeback. Galway turning over Roscommon, who had, of course, beaten them twice in the league campaign before that. Galway then went into the All-Ireland quarterfinal, where they played against an Armagh side that had come back through the qualifiers, beating Tyrone and avenging the loss to Donegal, and now they were running red-hot momentum. And by God, this was one hell of a game. The game of the year, in my opinion. And God, it's going to be hard to beat. It was one hell of a game. The drama, the excitement, and they had a brawl on the touchline right at the end of the game. Rian O'Neill struck over that free to send the game to extra time. Galway really should have put the game to bed in normal time. They didn't. It went to extra time. Galway hit a late point from Killian Mcdade, who was man of the match that day. It went into penalties, and Galway won on penalties. I don't think it should have gone to penalties. I think it should have gone to a replay. But look, that's a debate for another day. Galway got through on penalties into the All-Ireland semi-final, where they played against the Ulster champions and high-flying Derry, who had put 5 goals past Clare in the quarter-final. And yeah, a bit of a bad game. Galway showed some serious composure, and they really, really played like a team that have been at the highest stage and know what it takes to get over the line, because they never panicked. They never, wavered from their plan. They stuck to the game plan, and they won. They won by 2 goals and 8 points to a goal and 6. Damien Comer scoring 2 crucial goals at crucial stages. Over the championship, they have scored in total 11 goals and 82 points with an average of 217, so level with Kerry. The total conceded is 665 with an average of 114. So that's an average of a goal and 2 points more conceded per game than Kerry. So that's a worrying statistic, but we'll get into the more, into the flesh of the game itself. The top scorers for Galway: Shane Walsh with 127, Damien Comer with 29, Robert Finnerty with 13 points. Tied for fourth, Patrick Kelly with 3-2 and Johnny Heaney with 2-5. And then in sixth, Killian Mcdade with 1-7, and Paul Conroy has also chipped in with 7 points. No one on this Galway team has played in an All-Ireland final. Absolutely nobody. Pádraig Joyce, the manager, his experience is going to be absolutely crucial for these players, letting them know, look, what they're going to be in for. Galway and Kerry did play each other in the All-Ireland final of 2000. Kerry got the victory that day, but Galway put up one hell of a fight. But yeah, now that we've got the stats, up on the screen, now we're going to go into the actual team. How will they line up? So I think Kerry are going to go with Shane Ryan in goal. He's been their goalkeeper throughout the championship. He's played fantastically well. So I think they're going to stick with him. In defense, look, I think they're going to go with the same. I think they're going to go with Graham O'Sullivan, Jason Foley and Tom O'Sullivan, Brino Bjuglich, Tyg Morley and Gavin White. I think that's going to be their back six. I think, look, Paul Murphy is a great shout to come back in. Of course, he came on against Dublin towards the end of the game. But I think, look, O'Connor is going to stick with what's got him to the dance. And I think he's going to go with this back six with Paul Murphy coming on as a bit of a calming presence if the game gets into the melting pot later on. I think midfield, they're going to go with David Moran and Diarmuid O'Connor. I don't think they're going to start Jack Barry. I think Jack Barry was purely to go on Brian Fenton, unless they plan on doing a similar job with Jack Barry putting him on Paul Conroy. But no, I think they're going to bring Jack Barry on later on. I'm going to go David Moran and Diarmuid O'Connor to start in midfield for Kerry. Then the forwards, I'm going to go Darren Moynihan, Sean O'Shea and Stephen O'Brien with a full forward line of Paddy Clifford, Paul Gainey and David Clifford. I think that is going to be the team that Kerry go with. It's pretty much the team that they've gone with. Jack Barry obviously has come in place of, I believe it was Darren Moynihan for that semi-final against Dublin. That was just to go on to Brian Fenton. I don't think that they're going to play him again, but I could be wrong. For Galway on the flip side, I think their starting team, they're going to go with Conor Gleeson in goal, but by God, they better have worked on his ability to cope with a high ball into the box. Full back line, they're going to go Sean Kelly fullback with Liam Silk and Jack Glynn in the corners. Half back line, I believe they will stick with Dylan McHugh, John Daly in the middle and Kieran Malloy on the left. Midfield, I think they're going to go with Paul Conroy and Killian Mcdade. Half forward line, I think they're going to go with Patrick Kelly on the right, Matthew Tierney in the middle and Johnny Heaney on the left. And the full forward line of Robert Finnerty, Damien Comer and Shane Walsh. That's one hell of a Galway team, especially in the full forward line. I think they're absolutely electric in there. They have a brilliant cocktail of Finnerty's shooting, Walsh's flair and Damien Comer's power. And now let's get into the matchup. So I've picked out 5 people that I think from both sides that are crucial for the other team to get right. So let's start with the obvious. Who picks up David Clifford? I think they're going to put Sean Kelly on David Clifford. Sean Kelly has picked up Rian O'Neill. He picked up Shane McGuigan. I think he's going to go on to David Clifford. He tends to be the player that marks the star man from the other team. So I'm going to pick Sean Kelly to go on David Clifford. And I think he can do a good job on him. But look, David Clifford is David Clifford. He will still score a few points in play. It's just about keeping it down and keeping him away and hoping that he doesn't get a goal. Who picks up Paddy Clifford? Interesting. They put Lee Gannon on, Dublin put Lee Gannon on him. So I can see Galway putting a Jack Lynn on him, someone who's young, who can, who has a lot of energy, who can sprint around with Paddy Clifford and roam around with him and is comfortable out the field as well. I think Liam Silk will pick up Paul Gainey. Sean O'Shea is another one that I marked out as being crucial that Galway get right. I think it's going to be either Johnny Heaney or Kieran Malloy. I don't think they're going to put John Daly on him. John Daly has been sweeping up quite a bit. I think if they do put John Daly on him, Dylan McHugh will sweep instead. But I think Sean O'Shea will be picked up by either Kieran Malloy, Dylan McHugh, or Johnny Heaney. Then the last one that I said that Galway need to get right is Gavin White. Gavin White actually has completely flipped the script. You could make a similar case for Tom O'Sullivan, but I'll get on to why I think Tom O'Sullivan will have his hands full later. Gavin White attacks from deep and he really punches holes in defenses. I think Galway need to make sure that if it is Matthew Tierney that ends up on him, if it is, Rob Finnerty, if it is Killian Mcdade, that they have to be able to keep up with him. They really have to be able to keep up with Gavin White, the pace that he brings to the attack. I think, look, maybe an Owen Gallagher there would be a good man to bring on if, Gavin White is punching holes in the Galway defense, because he did that against Mayo. He just can turn on the burners and just go. How fit will he be? Obviously, he limped off in the semi-final against Dublin. So, I hope that Gavin is back fit because he's a fantastic player to watch. He's got great pace, very exciting footballer to watch. So, hopefully, he's back to his full fitness. And then switching over to the other side, I think Kerry will let Tyg Morley sweep again. I think Galway will let John Daly sweep again. For Kerry, the first men I have picked out that they have to get right is Killian Mcdade and Paul Conroy, both the midfielders. Mcdade has been absolutely crucial to Galway throughout the championship. He was man of the match in that quarter-final against Armagh. He kicked a crucial goal when they needed it, and he kicked a crucial point to equalise the game and send it to penalties. I think Dermot O'Connor will go on Killian Mcdade, and I think David Moran will go on Paul Conroy. And by God, that could be one hell of a battle. I could be wrong. Jack Barry could go on Paul Conroy, try to do a similar job that he did on Brian Fenton, but I do think Dermot O'Connor will go on Killian Mcdade. Then the other men I have picked out is the full forward line of Shane Walsh, Damien Comer, Rob Finnerty, and I've actually added in a wild card. I've gone Patrick Kelly, because Patrick Kelly is a towering man who goes for goals, and Kerry haven't conceded really. They've only conceded one goal in the championship, and that was to Dublin. Cormac Costello swung that in from outside the box. No, I don't think people have really hit them with long balls, and Patrick Kelly and Damien Comer are a terrifying duo in there for getting goals. Patrick Kelly goes for goals all the time. He scored more goals than points in the championship so far. So I think Graham O'Sullivan onto Patrick Kelly. I think O'Sullivan has the size to deal with him. Jason Foley will go on to Damien Comer. That is a crucial battle because Damien Comer put Brendan Rodgers on toast. And up until that point, Brendan Rodgers had been a shoe-in to win the All-Star for fullback. I still think there's a good chance he gets an All-Star at cornerback, but I think Jason Foley now has overtaken him for the All-Star fullback position. And, his performance in this final might, ensure that he gets that. Comer is absolutely crucial to Galway. He's crucial to Galway. He's the captain. He's the leader. He's the one that drags them through the fire when they really need someone to. I'm going to go with Foley to pick him up. Tom O'Sullivan, I think, is going to pick up Shane Walsh. I think Tom O'Sullivan can, follow him out the field. Is very comfortable going forward. He's a tight, tenacious, very tough cornerback. And yeah, I think he's going to pick up Walsh because he's able to keep up with him as well. He's got serious pace and he's a great man marker. So yeah, and Rob Finnerty then I think is going to be picked up by Brian O'Bioglich. So yeah, I think, look, there's going to be one hell of a game. It's going to be one hell of a game. Who do I think is going to win? I've laid out all the stats. I've laid out the matchups. I laid out who I think is going to pick up who. Who do I think is going to win? I think for Kerry to win, They have to have a great game from Sean O'Shea, David Clifford, Paul Gainey, Paddy Clifford. For Galway, they all have to have a great game. And that's really what I mean from this sense that I think Kerry are going to win. I've backed Kerry in every single game that they've played. I've always backed them to win. Even I predicted them to beat Dublin in the preview. Seeing how easily Kerry beat Mayo and seeing how tough Galway beat Mayo by, that just doesn't, fill me with the most confidence. Galway got a Derry team in the semi-final that just turned up and, just stanked the place out really with the type of football that they were playing. Galway beat Armagh. That was one hell of a game to come through. But when you look at who Kerry have beaten, they've beaten Mayo and Dublin to get to the final. Like they're the two teams that have been in the All-Ireland finals over the last 10 years. Galway have beaten Armagh and Derry, neither of whom have been in the final since back at the start of the 2000s. Armagh haven't been in the final since 2003. Derry haven't been in the final since, I believe, is it 1993? So, when you're talking about the pedigree that both these teams are coming in with, Kerry have beaten the bigger teams, and Galway, while their game against Armagh was amazing and they showed such composure and such heart, I just think Kerry, it's their time. I predicted Kerry to win the All-Ireland at the start of the year. I've backed them throughout. I'm going to go with them to win this game as well. I think Galway have to get more right than Kerry do. Kerry have a lot of options there. David Clifford, Sean O'Shea. And with Sean O'Shea, moving into the square, in and out of the square, I can see Galway conceding a soft goal. I really can. The way they conceded 3 soft goals to Armagh, I can see them doing the same against Kerry. And look, I think it would be one hell of an achievement for Galway, but I'm going to go with Kerry to get the victory. Not by much. I'm going to go with Kerry by 3 points. That's my prediction. It's going to be one hell of a game. I will 100% be watching. There will be a live stream here on Play on GAA, so make sure you tune in for that. And until that live stream, guys, take care.